When I saw this run got submitted, I knew that we had to have it in this event in some way, shape, or form. I am so excited to announce that we have Toronite here with Pokemon trading card game Bingo. Can I get a let's go bingo in chat? And Toronite, take it away, friend.
Pokemon TCG Bingo. This is a first for Pokemon TCG. You're not mistaken in case you were here on Do All the Things on Friday. Yes, I'm back here with Pokemon TCG, but this time in a completely different format. This was something that I've been kind of working on for a long time, and although I can't take credit over I can't take full credit over the ultimate creation of this bingo board, which has the amount of objectives, possible objectives to do in this board is like in the hundreds. And this has been something that the community has been kind of slowly working for quite some time. And I'm glad that it's kind of now seeing its full creation. And yeah, no, this is going to be a lot of fun. For anyone who doesn't know what Pokemon TCG is, this is the 1998 Game Boy Color version. I'm playing this technically on the Switch because it was ported on the Switch last year, yeah. And the way Pokemon TCG works is that you assemble a team of Pokemon through your deck, and then you knock out your opponent's Pokemon. It's kind of essentially a card game version of the RPG, if you're familiar with that. So, not a whole lot to get into, but we will begin with my reveal in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of different stuff in terms of the bingo board, because the way I kind of designed this is that a lot of these objectives, they're kind of like separated into their own subcategories, whether it be, getting a certain number of cards or being a X trainer with, Y type of deck, or just kind of going through the story mode somewhat relatively normal as usual. You're going to see a little bit of everything. So now what we did first is we basically did something called, a double energy trick, where we are tricking this NPC into giving us 60 energy cards for free, which is energy cards are essentially the resources for being able to attack. And so basically we did that trick twice, and we can just kind of make the early portion of this bingo run a lot more consistent. So we're looking at this bingo board. So this is going to be interesting. So I'm trying to kind of figure out what we have in store. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff that is just simply going for the game normally. I want to see if I can get this first one. Okay, so there's one that says force a draw in a match, which was one of my favorite challenges to try to complete when it comes to designing this board. So let's see if do I even have the Magnemite? Yes, I do. Okay, so this Magnemite has self-destruct, which is just perfect for us to be able to execute a draw. And this is a really cool thing, because draw, if a duel ends in a draw, you actually get to hear a special piece of music that can only be heard whenever you have a draw. So Sarah is the easiest duel in the game. She only has two prizes to beat, and prize cards effectively function as your reward for knocking out a Pokemon. Whoever gets to knock out whoever gets to collect their prize cards first automatically wins the duel. So, thankfully, Sarah, you only need to collect 2 prize cards. They are the only fight in the entire game in the 80% glitchless run where we can absolutely do this with almost no resets. And we already collected one of our prize cards. So hopefully this Slowpoke doesn't leave the field. And all right, perfect. So we have the setup ready. We use self-destruct, and we have knocked out both Slowpoke and ourselves. And even though the opponent has more Pokemon, we collect our prize cards. So let's see. Yep, there we go. That's it. That's our first objective down the board. It only took us about 3 minutes to get there. So draw in this game basically means, okay, we can't leave it like this. So what we are going to do is we are going to it's a winner take all. First person to knock out someone else's Pokemon automatically is the winner. And thankfully, Sarah, like I said, one of the easiest fights in the game, if not the easiest fight in the game, and we were able to already overcome this fight. So hopefully, all of you guys have been enjoying what we have in store in terms of the bingo run. So let's see what else can we do.
Toronite, I have a quick question, actually.
Sure.
So, I know that a lot of people do different things in regards to bingo. Are we hoping for like a single line, or are you trying to do like a full board bingo with this estimate?
We're gonna go for a single line. If we're gonna go for a full board, and part of the reason why I'm only going to go for a full board because some of these objectives are post game only. So I wanted to sort of ensure, at the very least, if I can at least get something, if I can get one line, that'll be great. But trust me, it's not going to be as easy as it may look like. Because if we're going down the road with the force a draw in a match and use that as our bingo, so horizontally, this one will take a while if we're going to go through this horizontally. The reason being is because Psychic Medal, which is, by the way, the medals are effectively serve as gym badges in this game. Psychic Medal can only be acquired after acquiring 4 medals beforehand. So that's going to take a while to be able to accomplish that feat. So that in and of itself is going to take like 35 minutes. If I were to even go for the game normally, it would probably take us about like around 35 minutes just to be able to do this. Now you may be noticing, actually, do we have I don't have a booster pack related objective. So for now, I'm just going to go through this game regular, as a 80% glitchless, because it also helps us to acquire the total of 400 cards, which it may seem daunting. 400 cards may seem a lot. It's actually one of the easier objectives because you start out the game with, I want to say like close to 100 almost, and you get 20 cards every time you win a duel. So we already won 2 duels, but that's 40 cards. So it will actually not going to take us that long. And I think we're actually in the 200 range just because we did that funky little trick where we get 60 free energies. And believe it or not, it's something that I think that throughout the course of the game, I think it's going to be, oh no, that's a flying Pikachu. Actually, no, this is perfect. We can knock out the top left objective, hopefully. Which is knocking out a fighting resistant Pokemon with a fighting Pokemon. So the way, this is actually a great segue. So the way resistances and weaknesses work, it's a little bit different than what you are. No. Well, there goes 2 turns worth of pepper right there. That's fine. So the way weaknesses and resistance works in the TCG operate a little bit differently than in the regular RPG, which is every Pokemon has their own individual weakness. It's not as simple as your typical rock, paper, scissors type of deal where every single water type is weak to electric or grass, or all fire types are weak to water. The reason being is because in the TCG, which by the way, we just knocked out the Flying Pikachu, so that's our second objective already done. So the deal with resistances and weaknesses is that every Pokemon, for the most part, have a single weakness or resistance that more or less correlates with their in-game counterparts. I say more or less because there are some cards within the original 151 at this point in the TCG that the weakness does not make much sense. So my favorite example of this is Gyarados. So in the RPG, Gyarados is water and flying. So you would think naturally, of course, electric type, because it's the only Pokemon where the only weakness is lightning. Or I say, by the way, lightning is what electric is in the TCG. For some reason, they changed the name. So you would think, okay, Gyarados is weak to lightning. Nope, it's weak to grass, even though it makes no sense because in the TCG, I'm sorry, in the RPG, Gyarados does not take extra damage from grass, but in the TCG, for some reason, he does, which absolutely makes no sense. And that's part of the game here with Pokemon TCG, is having the knowledge to be able to figure out what each Pokemon in the game's individual weakness and resistances are, and just trying to figure out a way to combat them. So this initial portion of the run, we're going to be basically doing a Hitmonchan only deck just because we are about to lose. So either way, it doesn't matter. We already beat we already knocked out the fighting resistance. So what is another thing that we can try to do? Actually, Actually, no, there is one thing we could do. If we go back to the Mason Laboratory, and this is a cool little thing, is that this NPC is actually an NPC you can fight. His name is Aaron. And the one thing about Aaron is he has 3 individual decks. Both of them are all 3 of them are dual types. If you remember from the All Battles run on Friday's Hotfix, you'll know that Aaron is not an easy opponent, especially with what I'm about to try to do. But we're trying to see if this can go well. So if we can beat the water and I already lost where on the bingo board he is at. Okay, column 1, row 4. Gotcha. So let's see if we can beat it. No, that's a 4 versus 1. We do not want that. The thing about Pokemon TCG in a speedrun is that we want to try to make sure that we get the type of fights that we know we can win. So we're only going with a Hitmonchan only deck because it's kind of the best deck at the moment to be able to figure out to beat a lot of the early fights in the game. And what we are trying to do is go through a lot of these trainers that can go down relatively easily with just a Hitmonchan. But unfortunately, some of these fights also have Pokemon that love to stall, like Eevee. Tail Wag means that if you flip a coin and it lands dead, boom, you basically can't do anything next turn. Hopefully, we can get rid of Heather very, very easily. I'm trying to see what is something that I can do. I don't know if anything is. I don't know if a diagonal line is achievable in this run with the estimate, because the center objective, complete a challenge machine run at the Mason Laboratory. That is, oh, we actually lost. Do we have anything that actually, no, that is unfortunate. The RNG really is against us today. Oh my goodness. That is a post-game only objective. And the way that works is if you beat the game, and then afterwards what happens is you try there's a little machine that becomes available to use. You have to fight 3 NPCs, then a club master, which is the equivalent of a gym leader, and then a grandmaster, which is the equivalent of an elite 4, one after the other, without being able to alter your deck a single time. So it is very, very difficult to be able to pull that off, especially with our estimate being, I think it's an hour 15. So we're just going to try to keep it nice and simple and go through it as normal. We actually kind of already got a fair number of cards. How many cards do we have? And kind of forgetting how many. Oh, this card. Okay, 290. We are not at that point yet. And it was also a good time to check how many different cards we have. 74. Okay, there's 226 cards in the game that you can acquire through normal means. But there's actually 2 cards that are actually in the game, but they are actually unable to be acquired through normal means. The reason being is because there was a bit of an oversight with something that's called the card pop mechanic, which is essentially I guess you could compare it to mystery gift, as some people may, and the old school style of mystery gift. And there was a bit of an oversight with those cards we call them the Phantom cards. They are Mew and Venusaur. And unfortunately, without doing some funny little shenanigans that we're not going to be able to do, we actually can't acquire those cards, which is fine. It's not the end of the world. And the bingo board does not take into consideration stuff that requires those 2 Phantom cards, because no, that'd be one, you would already be doing stuff outside of the game where, that is not exactly intended when it was released. We have a Scyther. That is excellent. Let me see what else we can do. We might as well try to go back to the Lightning Club and just start collecting medals. Medals are the gem badges of this game. And we are essentially trying to... The objective is, collect 8 medals and then be able to challenge the Pokemon Dome, which is the Elite Four of this game. That is Zapdos. That thing resists lightning and can one-shot us with enough prep time, so we're going to reset that fight. So yeah, so I'm hoping you guys are enjoying this run so far.
I mean, I, for one, am having a great time.
Yeah, no, me too. It definitely makes you think, and doing a bingo run as opposed to a speed run, it's a very different mentality going through it, because now it's forcing you to do stuff that you're kind of not used to throughout the course of an 80% glitchless speed run. As for example, like you go to the top center objective, which is defeat Stephanie, Eric, and John, all with the same deck. That's actually a tricky challenge to beat, because sorry, that was let's see, I accidentally hit my foot pedal, thinking that like that's muscle memory from doing a speed run, thinking, okay, I just beat this trainer, gotta hit the next split. So that was my foot pedal accidentally doing that, and I have it tapped to space bar, so that's why it kind of just moved. So whoopsies, don't worry about it. Pretend you guys saw nothing. And beautiful first turn. Is there something that we can get for first turn? Nope, unfortunately. That is fine. We are actually okay. This is actually a good way. We can knock out an objective right here. This is Isaac. Isaac is the gym leader, or the club master, I should say, of the Lightning Club. And here's a fun little fact for those of you who have never played Pokemon TCG on the Game Boy Color. The AI cheats. And I don't mean as like, it's unfair or they're hard. No, they actually legitimately cheat. So you're going to notice that these Pokemon with these green symbols, they indicate that they are basic Pokemon, meaning they are either unevolved Pokemon or they have the ability to evolve, but they are in their primary stage. In this game, the AI is always programmed to always have at least 2 basic Pokemon in their opening hand. So you cannot win this game you cannot win a boss fight on the very first turn, which is incredibly annoying, especially with the fact that you are expected to kind of go through the motion with a lot of these fights. And some of these boss fights can take a very, very long time. So we're going to try to see if we can force Isaac to evolve his Magnemite into Magneton. Here's the thing, I have no idea if he even has Magnemite. Does he even have Magnemite right now out? No, that's gonna be a tough one. I'm hoping, yes, okay, there we go, there's Magnemite. Okay, we should be good to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Gust into the Tauros. Tauros is the only Pokemon right now that has the ability to knock us out in one go. Kangaskhan too, but the AI almost never uses Kangaskhan to be able to attack. He just uses Kangaskhan to use the fetch ability. So, okay, there's Magnemite. There's 2 Magnemites, so in theory, I shouldn't have a problem just waiting. And this is where the waiting game begins, because now we're essentially trying to wait until Magneton evolves, which is totally fine. So while we are in this fun little waiting game, there's Magneton's out on the field, but it's the wrong one. Now, this is interesting because I need to knock out Magneton. But if I knock out this Magnemite, the AI will likely go for Electrode. And we have 2 prizes left to collect. So I am hoping that we get a second Magneton. It's very possible. Or that I actually don't even know if I have Gust of Wind. So this will be interesting. So let's see if this goes well. And there's Electrode. Okay, at the risk of potentially losing out on the objective, we're gonna try to take out the Electrode and hope 1 in 3 chance that we get Magneton. Yes, perfect. Okay, we are good. Okay, we can knock that one out the board. And there we go. We have successfully knocked out Isaac's Magneton. That was really scary. Because otherwise we would have to basically go for the fight again. And that's not fun. Isaac is not a fun fight. He's easy, but man, it can be quite annoying sometimes.
Definitely worth the risk you took. GG, very nice.
Yeah, the only risk was Turtles knocking us out, but thankfully we have Gust of Wind. Do I even have a second Gust of Wind, or did I have to no, we only had one, so I actually had to play Heart of the Cards on that one and hope that the AI gave that one to me. So, okay.
That's just Pokemon trading card game.
Yep, that is how it is. Actually, wait, Evolved Mysterious Fossil. That is, let's see, do I have either Omastar or Omanite or Aerodactyl? I don't have Aerodactyl. Do I have Omastar? Omanite, I'm sorry. Ooh, this will be an interesting one. This is an interesting one. You know what? Let's kind of figure out. Yeah, let's see if we can knock that one out the board. And thankfully, actually, this is actually a good little bit of a experiment. This is a fun little experiment to try to figure out. I kind of have in my mind, I actually kind of have an end game of how I want to approach this. Okay. This is not how I want. Okay, so I do need a basic Pokemon. So the way the fossils work in the game is that while, yes, they can be played on the field as if they were basic Pokemon, they're not actually basic Pokemon. They are trainer cards. So unfortunately, it's gonna have to. I will wait on that at a later point, just so that I can maybe see if I can have a more consistent deck to be able to accomplish that feat. But I have in my mind an end game to complete this bingo, to complete this line. I have an end game, but I also want to be able to, knock out as many objectives as possible within the time limit that I impose myself. So, honestly, I think the 7 medals, is 7 medals is probably going to be the most time-consuming one. But I feel that the rightmost column is going to be our end game. Now, because acquiring a total of 400 cards is going to be fine. I think that's not going to be an issue whatsoever. This is actually perfect. Such a perfect little example of a neat little tech in Pokemon TCG. So, you kind of saw Hitmonlee got hit, and the reason why I went to try to attack Hitmonlee is because he was about to attack next turn if Chris happened to draw a fighting energy. Now, the reason why I tried to attack for him is because the AI has the way the AI responds to Pokemon's almost about to being knocked out. It kind of has that little. It has something of a self-preservation strategy to where it's going to try to make the next Pokemon that is on its bench, setting that up. But if we go for a purposefully weaker move, or just sometimes not even attack at all, we make the AI pretend that it has a chance at living the next attack, when in reality, we can knock it out whenever we want. And it's just a matter of, that's a form of AI or AI manipulation that we kind of want to try to incorporate into speedruns. Because if we try to use our strong attack all the time, there is a possibility that the AI is going to be like, well, hold on, I don't want to hold on. I'm going to try to set up my bench, and we don't want the AI to set up a bench. So we're going to read our mail. We have 3 booster packs that we get for free. I'm hoping for something good. And fortunately, a Gyarados is not what we're looking for. And I think actually with this, we're either going to be Jolteon. Yes, perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So status, we have 113 cards. We're actually not that far off from completing the 150 out of 226. So now the question will be, how many cards do we? 420. Okay, we got the 400 cards. So we already got that out squared away. So let's see what else we can do. Oh, wait a minute. I know there's a funky trade in this game. And I'm trying to remember which one was it. Actually, wait. Actually, I don't even know if this is considered I actually don't even know if this is considered a trade. So I'm going to save that for later. There's in-game trades in this game, and thankfully, there are plenty of opportunities to be able to execute in-game trades. So there was one that is really funny, where I believe it was you get a promotional card if you hand one NPC all of your unused energy cards. And if you happen to have, like, I don't know, 100 energy cards that you don't have in your deck, you're giving every single one of them away. And I think what you get is like Electabuzz, like not even a good Electabuzz. It's not even a good trade. Now, actually, I'm curious about this. Actually, this is kind of a semantics question, because you're giving away a bunch of energy cards, but you're not. But you're not. It's not a one-on-one card for card trade. So, chat. Does giving away hundreds of cards and you just get one card in return, that constitutes as a trade, right? I'm thinking that's the case. I don't know. What do you guys think? Because I think it means it's an in-game trade. It's just kind of what changes is how many cards you're giving away.
I don't think it would count as a necessarily fair trade, but it's certainly a trade.
See, that's what I'm kind of thinking too. That's what I'm thinking too. That it's not, it's not the best trade in the world. It's like, it's like one of those instances where, you're playing Ruby and Sapphire, and you have a Ruby exclusive Pokemon. I don't know. I think like it was let's say a Shuppet, like for example, and then you're at camp. And you're a friend, and you have a friend who has like a level 100 Blaziken, but he likes the Shuppet. So and I have a Swampert. I'm sorry, someone has a Swampert, and they say, hey, I'll give you my Shuppet for your Blaziken, for your level 100 Blaziken. It's just a hypothetical. Sometimes it is an unfair trade, but and just as an example of it. I'm not saying I've done it. I'm not saying I've kids.
Alternatively, we do have in the chat, because the person in question does not pose it as a trade, he just tells you to give him all your energy, it doesn't count as a trade.
Interesting wording. Okay, you know what? Yeah, this is one of kind of those things that it's like, it's a semantics question. Like what really constitutes as a trade? So thankfully it's not the only one. So I'm trying to, oh, wait a minute. You know what? We could have accomplished an objective right here and there. By fighting Jean. But it would have been... Actually, no. I mean, theoretically, I could have tried to beat Jean with a non-grass type Pokemon, but unfortunately, we don't have something that resists fighting and can also dish out a lot of damage right now. I might revisit this. Later. So, you might be wondering to yourself right now, why are you bringing Magnemite back into the fold? So we're going to be fighting our rival, Ronald. And we have a very interesting strategy that I think you guys are going to very much enjoy. And it's a special strategy that not even the all battles deck. Ooh, this is. I might have actually. Oops. There we go. Accidentally hit spacebar again. That was my bad. Okay. We have a special. I kind of messed up the strategy a little bit, but I'm hopeful that. Okay. We just. This very special, very unique strategy can only be done with this fight against Ronald. And I swear, it's the fastest possible strike. This is not, I kind of messed it up because I meant to include lightning energy, but the strategy here, lose on purpose. So there we go. We have successfully accomplished the Ronald fight. Thankfully, there really wasn't anything that we would have been able to achieve by beating Ronald. On any percent glitchless runs, believe it or not, we actually lose this fight on purpose using self-destruct because the fight is so hard. It's not that it's hard, but it's very time-consuming that we just say, you know what? Let's just fight the game. Let's just lose on purpose. Story progression does not get impacted as a result. So we are going to be talking to this person, Ishihara. The reason why is Ishihara is an NPC that offers trades such as, primarily it's Surfing Pikachu and a Flying Pikachu. Either way, the way to trigger the ability to trade is we talk to this NPC. There's actually 3 NPCs throughout the game, and it's fine. You talk to any of them. You talk to the NPC to trigger Ishihara appearing. And then you save and quit, talk to the NPC again, and then you'll be able to unlock the trade. So, Clefable. I don't think I have Clefable. Oh yeah, no. I read that first line. I appreciate your interest. I'm like, wait, I have Clefable? No, I don't. That is fine. But at the very least, that puts in our head what card we need to acquire for down the line to be able to complete the in-game trade. There's more, but I want to see if I can get that Ishihara trade done.
I have another quick question for you, if you have a second, whilst you do your menuing. Okay, so if you look at column 1, row 5, that bottom corner there, where it says knock out Jean's Rhyhorn with a non-grass type Pokemon.
Yes.
Does that goal only count if you win the match, or can you not? Can you like cross that off if you are defeated in the match, but you still knocked out the Rhyhorn?
Only if you just knock out the Pokemon. Only if you knock out the Pokemon. And theoretically, I could just do that, beat him once, and then that's it. And I believe there's another variant of this challenge, of that objective, and there's a lot of different variants of these types of objectives where it does include straight up. Also, you got to win the fight. So I could have done that. I might do that, but the problem is I didn't have anything that I would say, ooh, this is already turned into a bad fight. It's something where I'm just thinking, you know, I theoretically could, like, maybe something with Farfetch or Zapdos, but it'd be something that is a huge time waster. Or a lot of things would have to be going my way in order to be able to, in order to accomplish that objective. I could have tried, but I want to wait for something a little bit more consistent before trying that objective again.
No, absolutely. I was just curious, and it was a question that also came up in chat, so I wanted to ask. I wanted to figure that out.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, and you know that's the and I tried my best to kind of, when building this bingo board, I tried to be very specific with the wording. Like, you know, if I ask for someone to try and win a fight while also fulfilling like some bizarre battle condition or game board state, I would tell, oh wait, I don't know, I've already beat Sarah. I don't need to fight her again. We're okay. That was actually good to. I could at least check how many cards we have. 121. 121 cards. We're actually not that far off from beating the threshold. So
we're getting very close to obtaining 150. Or wait, hang on.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Wait, yeah.
Yep, we are close to. We are technically. 80% of the way there, roughly. We're 80% of the way there. 7 medals could be a bit of a challenge, but it should be fine. What are we dealing with? Oh boy, this is a tricky fight, but I think this is still winnable, provided that Electabuzz' coin flips don't hurt Electabuzz too many times. And I can already tell this is probably going to be a loss. Right? Actually, no. If that Shelter comes out, then we should be good because Shelter can't attack. And we have Defender. That's actually great. So let's see. Hiding Shell. Darn it. Okay, that's going to be a coin flip. That's landing heads. Okay, this is actually a really cool little RNG manipulation. So you saw that coin flip landing tails. The way RNG works is that whenever we figure out, well, I was going to explain it, but it does not work if the AI decides to alter the game board the way it did. But what I was going to say is, had that Shelter not evolved, the next coin flip the AI was going to throw would have been tails because my coin flip landed on tails. The way RNG works in this game, it's a little funky. It's a global frame rule that every frame that passes, so, you know, we're talking a roughly 60 FPS game. Whenever that happens, every frame that passes, something else completely changes in terms of the game state. Whether it be how many different coin flips land heads or tails, or what your opponent... Wow, this fight is going really, really bizarrely. I'm on, Joshua. Usually not this difficult. So, all right. And I see in the chat, like, wait a minute, why didn't I knock out the... Well, oh yeah, that is true. I did knock out the Lapras, right. I don't know why I thought in my head, I did not knock out the Lapras. Okay, actually, thank you, chat. So if chat can just tell me how many Laprases we overcome, because sometimes I'm pretty bad with math, and I didn't have in my, I don't have a piece of paper I didn't have a piece of paper to jot out all these. I probably should have, but either way. What I was going to say, oh yeah.
I'll keep that tally for you.
I appreciate it. We're probably gonna get like at least 1 or 2 more with this next fight. Because Amy loves spamming Laprases, so this could be another one where we might encounter that. So what I was gonna say, so the way the global frame rule works is that everything gets dictated every single frame. However, in duels, the global frame rule is frozen. So whatever the game state, darn it, it's no Lapras. Ooh, that's Seeking. That one's dangerous. So at least we're gonna do a little bit of chit damage just in case the Electabuzz' Thunder Punch coin flip lands tails. And oh wait, she did not evolve. Yeah, we basically manipulated the AI into thinking, wait a minute, this Golding's about to go down. Even with Thunder Punch, I might as well not evolve. So when the global frame rule, it's frozen during duels. However, when certain actions are done, such as a coin flip or shuffling the deck, or the AI, for example, evolving a Pokemon, that unfreezes the RNG and advances it to the next state. So if I were to say, and let's kind of test that out. You see this coin flip, it lands tails. Now, what happens if I reset the game? Oh, look, it's tails. Oh, wait a minute. What happens if I use Thunder Punch a third time? Nope, it's always going to be tails. That's kind of the way the RNG will always work. However, we do something different, such as use a Pokeball, and we use that coin flip for this particular action. The RNG gets re-rolled into the next frame. So now this is a completely 50-50 shot. And, well, it's still going to be tails. But that's just because the next frame says it's a coin flip landing in tails. That's really weird that we did not get a single Lapras. So, honestly, row 1 is also a possibility. Row 1 is also something that we could potentially use for...
It's definitely looking good for row 1 right now.
Yep. Let's see. All right, so we have, how many medals do we have? We have 3 medals. We have 3 medals. There's a few that we can try to get right now. We can get, how many cards do we have? 137. We're actually very, very close to 150. So, we can get the next 2 medals right now with these next 2 fights. Unfortunately, I would rather have more Duck Trios than what I have right now. I have 1 Duck Trio, which is, for those of you who remember the All Battles run from Friday, you'll know that we are in the same precarious spot as we were back then, where, and thankfully we don't have to beat the game to accomplish this, but boy, oh boy, this is already kind of be a rough stretch. Because the trio is effectively our win condition. Now, thankfully, Ken is the Fire Club gym leader. So what does he like spamming? Not fire types. He loves spamming the whatchamacallit, the colorless types, which are effectively normal and flying type Pokemon. You're kind of seeing right there. We're already at, he's put in 3 Pokemon. None of them are fire. So gotta love the excellent fire types that he is bringing out onto the field. The 4th one, that's another one. Actually, there's a Chansey objective on here. So we can knock that one out already. So let's, oh, hey, look, finally got that's our first one, our first fire type. There's 2 Chanseys there, so we can knock out, so we can at least go 1/3 of that objective.
I will be keeping count of Chanseys as well, so that's 2.
If we knock them out, great. Actually, no, this is fine. This is actually completely fine. There's a good chance he's gonna bring out both of those Chanseys at some point in the duel. Actually, he will have to bring out both of those Chanseys because of the, there's a chance not anymore. But all right, that's 1, because there were 4 prizes left and 3 total Pokemon. So now I am. Ooh, he actually might not bring out the Chansey now. The Chansey can't attack. So either way, we get 1. So that's good. And the next boss fight can, oh wait, no, we got Gust of Wind. This is perfect. So, all right, never mind. That's 2. Perfect. That is 2. Jot them down. 2 Chanseys we've already knocked out. So that's 2 Chanseys and 1 Lapras. Okay. The next boss,
you got it.
Next boss fight also has Chanseys, so that'll be another way we can get this. Let's see. Knock out a total 4. You know what? Honestly, Road 2 is slowly starting to also become something that is, even though we haven't done anything with them, with the next fight, that could also potentially be something where we get, where we can think about a potential strat. Oh, right, I forgot. This is a special cutscene. For whatever reason, when you have 4 medals and you go to the side room of the Psychic Club, our rival Ronald appears. This is the only instance, this is the only set of circumstances you can pull off in the game where this happens. And it's really bizarre that it's only in this particular room with 4 medals. But I'm glad I got to show this off, because in the All Battles round, we actually don't even get to do this. So nothing happens, but just a cool little cutscene where he's just checking up on you, just rubbing it in your face that you have oh my god, there's a second Duck Trio. Boy, that would have been great to have on the last fight. Better late than never.
Wait, so hold on. Yep. How many medals do we have? 4 or 5?
We have 4. But Ronald but Ronald appears and tells you, I have 5. Because this is Gen 1. Because this is Gen 1 and your rival has to be an absolute jerk. How many? With all those cards away, 140. So close. We're close. We're very close. How many cards? 570.
Bit by bit, we're making good progress.
I think one of the objectives I have is collect 1,000 cards, which is also kind of fun, because now you're just trying to figure out, okay, how can I possibly be able to do this? So, trying to see how this will work. Chansey, is Chansey in here? No. Ooh, but the Mime is here. This is, I don't want to say this is an unwinnable fight, but it's getting there. It's getting close to unwinnable if I don't get either a plus power card that powers up our cards, or Beautiful, perfect. So we have a Hitmonchan, hopefully. There we go. So the reason why this would have been sort of a little bit difficult to try to pull off is because this Mr. Mime has the ability, Pokemon Power, Invisible Wall. What it does is forces the opponent, or rather any damage done to it that does more than 20 damage automatically gets reduced to 0. So you are forced to have to use weak moves in order to be able to take out the Mr. Mime. And believe me, Murray is one of the hardest fights in the game. Not only is he one of the hardest fights in the game, he's maybe the worst fight to try and figure out the routing for. Because Murray, the only way to combat Murray is to get 4 medals beforehand. So if it wasn't for that one minor roadblock, believe me, the routing for this game would be almost entirely different in the any percent category. There's our third Chansey, perfect. So let's try to see, do I have I don't have Doug Trio yet. So I'm hoping that it does nothing to try. Do I have I do not. So my hope here is that Chansey doesn't like leave the field or heals up or does Scrunch. Okay, that's a Pokeball. So that's a head. So do I have anything that can potentially re-roll the RNG? I do not. So back to waiting. Back to waiting and just hope that the AI next coin flip lands tails. Which is funny because there is actually an objective on the bingo board, which is have your opponent flip 3 consecutive heads and win the fight. So that is always this is that's unfortunate. But we're gonna win this duel without knocking out Chansey. That's really unfortunate. But either way, I much rather deal with the I much rather get the 5th medal than have to deal with Chansey. Because even if we knock it out, that's still 5. That's still 3 more Chansey that we have to knock out. Anyways, in any scenario, we can always go back and fight Ken because Ken's Ken's a little bit more consistent than Murray. All right, so we're back to fighting our rival. So now we're gonna actually do the proper way of this strategy, which is lose on purpose. All right, how much time? We got about a half hour, a little under a half hour left. So I feel pretty good about my odds, about the odds of completing this board. So we
Did we just get the psychic medal?
Yes. Oh, that's right. Thank you for letting me. Yes, thank you. I was so fixated on okay, we got our 5th medal. Then boom, we got our, and there we go. Thank you for reminding me. All right, so.
I got you.
All right, so what else do we have? Oh, by the way, here's actually, this might bring it to 150. If we beat Murray, we get this special promotional card, which is a promo Mewtwo. A really, really good card that a lot of us top runners use in the 157. Wow, we blew past that. All right. So let's see. Do we have already the conditions? We do. Okay. All right. I could try. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the next 2 medals just so that we can accomplish the 7 medals. And then once we do, we can just go full steam ahead on the hardest part, on the hardest objective with this with the bingo bar, which is the easy one. But thankfully, beating this next boss fight is, I don't want to say a joke, because it entirely depends on what the opening hand of yours look like, and also what the whether or not you start first. But if everything goes well, then all right. I don't need double colorless. Actually, that's actually a bad thing if I put double colorless for this particular strategy. So thankfully, we got Mitch. He's the fighting type gym leader, and we had already overcome all 3 of his trainers, all 3 of his students, and lucky for us, we are able to. And lucky for us, that fulfills the requirement to challenge him. And that's usually the first thing that we do one of the first things that we do in the entire run of this game is challenge all 3 of his skip trainers, just so that we were able to challenge Mitch much later on in the game, because he's not easy, believe it or not. It may look like this fight's a joke because I got Mewtwo, but that's because I had an excellent opening hand, and there's nothing. And once Mewtwo's kind of set up and he's at full health, this fight is kind of essentially an auto win. But the problem is, if you start second, or even if you start first, but you have a bad matchup starting out, then you might as well just reset just because of how hard this fight can be. All right, so let's see. That's 6 medals. Do I have a 6 medal one? I do not. But we're at 6. Yep.
We do have the grass. I don't know if we've gotten the grass medal, but that is also. Oh, we don't. Okay, I'm looking at them right now.
We do not. There are 2 fights that we actually have to win before we even have the right to challenge the grass leader. It's basically the same.
Oh, wow.
It's the same thing with the lightning and the. I forgot to challenge you. That's right. All right. So by the way, everybody, say hi to the Science Club. There were so few types in the Pokemon TCG video game that they had to make up gym types just to be able to fulfill your traditional 8 gyms throughout the game. So instead of, we have rock and fighting, that's 2, but no one bothered to put a colorless club. So they just decided, we'll just do science. And of course, the gatekeeper of the science club is a bird nerd. I just realized we might have already gotten that Clefable. I'm hoping we get a Clefable. We've already gotten a Clefable, because now that just means that we are able to get the, I think it was a Surfing Pikachu that Ishikawa wanted. So thankfully, that could already fulfill that in-game trade objective. We could also go back to the Mason Laboratory and beat Aaron's water and fighting deck, because we already have a deck good enough to fight it. So yes, I'm already seeing people already getting kind of like in chat thinking, wait a minute, like, woo, Science Club. It's a really funny. This is definitely like the funnest club in the game in terms of different types of. Wait, Clefairy. Ooh, we have Clefable. Okay, you know what? Before I forget, I'm going back to Ishihara. We're getting that Pikachu. The Science Club is definitely the most diverse card in the. There we go. And there's a flying Pikachu. Say hi to Surfing Pikachu, everybody.
Hi, Surfing Pikachu.
The Science Club also has the most diverse number of different decks in the game. Like, for example, this guy, Eric, he uses a Poison deck. This guy, David, he uses a Nidoran deck. Don't let the name fool you. He uses a lot of Pokemon that are not named Nidoran. By the way, for the person in chat that was asking, am I fast forwarding? No. Throughout the years, top runners have been able to train their muscles and their finger speed to the point where we are essentially tapping A and B at almost like lightning fast speed. It may look like I'm fast forwarding. I am not. It's months, actually no, at this point, years of training of trying to get this finger speed going. And by the way, this is a fun. I always love doing this in a marathon. All right, this is Pokemon TCG. Even though levels do not mean anything, they are just a way to get people to differentiate different variants of the same Pokemon. But this is the only game where you're going to have a level 10 Abra, one shot, level 53 Mewtwo. So yeah, this could be actually this. I'm not in trouble yet, but I definitely need a 3rd Psychic Energy to be able to attack with Kadabra. And also thank you, chat, for letting me know to fill in the box. See, you guys, we're all, this is all a team effort, you know. I play the game, you guys remind me to actually do my job and and be able to do the check off the boxes. So, okay, Weezing is a threat here, so I'm just going to take him out. So now we're just effectively trying our best. By the way, shout out to the music in this game. This game's music is just absolutely wonderful. Like an absolutely banger of a soundtrack for a game that was originally released in 1998 and does an excellent job of taking advantage of everything that the Game Boy Color has in store. And like sprite art in this game is so good. The music is great. The interface is lightning fast, as you've been seeing throughout this run. And thankfully, we are one attack away from getting that 7th medal. Technically not the final one, but, you know, it will effectively be the final medal. Let's see. Do I have full heal? I do not. In fact, there's a chance that I could get stun locked and Kadabra could get knocked out if I don't draw full heal. So we will see what happens. Oh my god, I got stun locked. Kadabra is gonna get knocked out unless...
No, not the paralysis.
Actually, no. I can live one more attack. And I can be fine because I have a second Kadabra that's about to evolve. And oh wow, he didn't even bother attacking. So all right, that's 7 medals. We only have one more objective. I don't think we're gonna have a terribly long time, a terribly hard time accomplishing the 2 evolutions, because we do have multiple evolutions. I know we have Jolteon and Flareon. Question is, do I have Vaporeon? Vaporeon. I do have Vaporeon. Now, the wording of this objective is just just evolve. You don't have to win the duel, do anything with them. So we are going to... We only have 3 Eevee. That's actually kind of... That's actually not great. I was hoping we would get to 3 Eevees by this point in the run. But so what I'm going to do is something a little bit different. I'm going to try to have as much drawing power as I can. Wait. There we go. So now we need someone. I need someone who I know is not going to do a ton of damage. Actually, wait. This is going to be funny. The hardest fight in the game will be essentially our ticket to being able to beat her to do this. And I forgot to take out the Abras and Kadabras. Whoopsies. But yeah, we're trying to basically do our best to strengthen our... Okay, we don't have any extra Vaporeons, though.
Wait, but explain to me why you chose this trainer.
So Murray has Psychic and Colorless Pokemon. Eevee is weak to resist Psychic. The cool thing about his doing this is that Mr. Mime, his attack will do 10 damage plus however much HP you lost throughout for that current Pokemon. Here's the thing: it starts out at 10 and resists, and if you hit a Pokemon with a type that it resists, you subtract 30. So that 10 damage technically turns into -20, meaning it's not going to do any damage. Abra cannot do any damage to it. Kadabra could be a threat because it can do 50 damage. However, if it evolves into Alakazam, this is perfect. All I need is a second Eevee. Okay, I'm just gonna hope that the AI eventually just gives up, just uses a coin flip. That's all I'm hoping for. Because we have Jolteon. So now all I need is a second Eevee. So that is, of course, the AI likes to manipulate things. But hopefully this means that... Yes, perfect. Okay. We have Eevee. Next turn, we accomplish Bingo. Just one more turn. And that is time. That's Bingo. There we go.
Let's go, Bingo. Absolutely amazing.
There we go. I'm not going to lie. The Eevee was going to be the tough one. The Eevee Illusions one was going to be a little bit tough. Thinking that, okay, maybe we could, this could be a little bit of a risk because one, I wasn't sure how many evolutions we were gonna get. Also, you know, the way deck shuffling works, if you're not believing in the heart of the cards, it can be a little bit rough with trying to get the exact cards that you want. Now, obviously, you kind of got this little bit way underestimate, so there's a couple of things I do kind of want to show up. At the very least, just to kind of give the next runner a little bit of extra time to properly set up. So, one thing I always love showing off that I didn't get to show off at the start of the run is we have a trick called Duel Escape. What this does is win you any fight that you're currently facing with. So, the consistent setup is done. So we have one Pokemon on the bench. You could do this with no Pokemon on the bench, but it's a little bit more consistent for me doing this with a Pokemon on the bench. So we get down A, and then we try to hit B, then down A at the same time. So there we go. And just like that, we automatically win the duel. This one actually, yeah. So what this does, it effectively overloads kind of like the memory and makes the game kind of go past the game state and into the dual result screen. And what it does is it goes into the last result that you had, which, you know, we won the last fight, meaning that we automatically win. And you can do this for the entirety of a playthrough. And we have actually a category that is literally just doing this called any % no ace. And you can beat the entire game using this method in like 15-20 minutes if you're with enough practice. So thankfully, you know, I always love showing this off. If you do that and any % glitchless run, obviously that's a glitch. That means that the run is automatically invalid, but you know, it's bingo. We're having fun. Love showing off this trick. So wonder if there's do we have some extra mail? Do we get a surprise 200 out of 226 cards? I don't think we'll get to 200 cards just by grabbing these booster packs, but curious to see. Well, there's Aerodactyl. That could have been, we would have been able to evolve Mysterious Fossil with Aerodactyl, but fortunately, it's a little bit too late on that. 171. Never mind. We were nowhere even close. We're nowhere even close. Although, if you go through an any % glitchless run, by the end, you're actually gonna get close to that 200 mark. You're probably gonna get to like in the 180s, 190s. You have to be extremely lucky to get to 200 just after an any % glitchless run. But yeah, this is this is Pokemon TCG Bingo. I'm so glad that I was able to showcase this run. I've worked for a lot of months doing this run, and it was, I will say, it was so much fun thinking of different objectives and some creative strategies to be able to achieve this. And I'm really, really thankful for the opportunity to showcase this. If anybody wants to try out Pokemon TCG Bingo, on the Pokemon TCG speedrunning Discord, we actually also have I did post a little while back the JSON file that has basically all of the objectives that you have to essentially copy paste onto Bingo Sync, and then it's including the password to be able to access the room. So thankfully, we were able to. You can try this out however you want. Every so often, whenever I do like a major update to the objectives, I'll post that, and that way you'll get the most up-to-date version of the bingo. It has already gone through a few revisions the more I play tested this, and I'm so glad that we're able to do this. There's a lot of really fun stuff that we never even got to explore because the objective just didn't explore into bingo. Including this little character. Her name is Imakuni. Say hi, Imakuni. And for any of you who tuned in to the Do All the Things run on Hotfix back on Friday, put in the chat again. Thank you, Imakuni, because Imakuni saved the run. This lovable meme character who is, believe it or not, a roaming boss fight in this game who has the weirdest objective, the weirdest ace card in the history of card games. And I think we'll kind of end it off with this special, with a special reading of the special Imakuni card that he has, because, oh boy, it's something special. Let me see if, okay, I was trying to find the flavor text. So, Imakuni, the trainer card, this character's ace card is, your active Pokemon is now confused. Imakuni wants you to play him as a basic Pokemon, but you can't. A mysterious creature not listed in the Pokedex. He asks kids around the world, who is cuter, Pikachu or me? I'm not joking, that's the actual flavor text of the card in this game. And all it does, if you play that card, your own Pokemon gets confused, which is really one of the weirdest things you could possibly do in Pokemon TCG, but it's always fun. We even have a category where you have to beat him 3 times in order to collect that card, called Imakuni Present. It's the community's favorite meme category. It's short, it's simple, but it's really, really fun to try to overcome. And yeah, thank you so much again for giving me the opportunity to showcase this run. It was a lot of fun, and being able to do this with so many great Latino and Hispanic runners in this special weekend here in Latin American Heritage Month. It really just fills my heart with a lot of pride and joy to be able to showcase this game in front of this audience, in front of this lovely, lovely audience who have, I will say, you guys also get partial credit for completing this, because if it wasn't for you guys reminding me of a number of things throughout this run, who knows? Half of these boards, half of this completed objectives might not have been filled, even though they would have been objective. So even though they were completed. And also to our wonderful host for always entertaining us, and also keeping and reminding me of certain details about the bingo board. So if anybody has, as I said, if anybody wants to know more about the bingo board, feel free to hop onto the Pokemon TCG Discord, speedrunning Discord, I should say. And if you want to learn how to speedrun this game is, I would say, is one of the nicest, chillest speedrunning communities we have. It's not a large community, but it's definitely a very supportive community where we're all trying to better ourselves, and we're trying our best to ensure that we all have a fun time speedrunning this wonderful, wonderful game. And if you want to see me speedrun this game in the other actual categories, you can follow me on Twitch at Toronite. And I also speedrun stuff like Spyro 3 specifically, both the PlayStation 1 and Reignited version, as well as I'm currently learning Super Mario Odyssey. So that will be something that I will pretty soon be doing full run stuff. So yeah, that's it for my entire monologue spiel. Thank you so much again to everybody for thank you so much to GDQ for giving me the opportunity to play this game, not once, but twice this weekend. And shout out to the entire Pokemon TCG speedrunning community, because without them, I would not be here. And shout outs to all of you lovely people in the chat. You guys also deserve a round of applause for tuning in and supporting all of us speedrunners. It's not just in this weekend, but 365 days a year. So that's it for me. Thank you so much. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I'm looking forward to the rest of this marathon.
Toronite, thank you so much. It was so much fun keeping you company on this little bingo journey that we've gone on together. And thank you all so much for participating. It has been absolutely lovely and a pleasure. We are going to be switching off hosts. But before I go, I do have a little message for you all. If you are interested in other Hotfix events, not just along with our special events here, you can go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix to check out our Season 3 schedule and check out the schedule for an in-depth look at the runs on this week. So yeah, if you enjoy what you're seeing on the GDQ Hotfix channel, take a look at our schedule, see if there are other things that you might be interested in watching. And yeah, I will leave you in the very capable hands of Rebecca R.E., and I shall be going after this break, but stick around. We have so many wonderful runs. We have virtual unlimited projects coming up next. So yeah, I will see you all later. Stick around after this break. Thank you all so much.